Well, this is going to be an interesting experiment. I'm using the built-in microphone on this laptop, which is garbage. But I just want to have a play while I'm in the office and while I've got something resembling a setup going. Current viewers 1, whoever's watching, I'm so sorry. So if I go ahead to
Instant stream and just becomes dripping, then this is ready.
She's talking
You
about
can then put your paint on your palette.
stream
If you have to go to school, pick up the children, something like that, just put the lid back on and your paint's ready for you when you come back. So there are different palettes, and it is merely a personal preference which one you want to use. For most things, I use a waxed palette, the white or the gray palette, and for my one-brush multi-load techniques, then I'm going to use a wet palette. Now this is called tracing paper, and what this does is give you the opportunity to trace a pattern out of your book. You can see through this paper. It's very thin, and you can trace your pattern or your design. And to do that, you're simply going to use a pen or a pencil and trace the design, putting as much detail in that design as you personally might need. Then you're going to tear it off, and you're ready to go to the surface once you have that surface base coated. So that's where we're going to right now. I'm going to start with the tray here, and this tray needs to be painted. To paint it, I just don't want to put paint on it. This is going to be a tray that I'm actually going to use. So I want to spend a little bit of time in preparation. To do that, I'm going to start with a waxed palette, and I'm going to use the white one because it's handiest here. And onto my palette, I'm going to put some Deco Art Americana, French Blue Gray, and then I'm going to put an equal amount of the multi-purpose sealer. Now this multi-purpose sealer makes my life easy. I put an equal amount, and there's no reason to have to stir this together with a palette knife or anything like that. I'm simply going to brush mix the colors together. So in one step, I'm going to be able to base coat. And that's exactly what I'm doing here. Now, occasionally, you're going to hit a piece of wood that has some nails in it. When that happens, like I have here, I need to take care of that problem. What I'm going to do for that is to just use a little bit on my finger, and everything I use is non-toxic. So it's going to be easy for you to work. And I'm just going to rub in with my finger the wood sealer and then rub it off. At the other end, where the nails went in, you want to fill those holes and then just rub it with a clean finger. Just wipe your hand off, and you're going to use a sanding oval, sandpaper, or a sanding pad. I have several different kinds here because you're going to find all different ones in your local craft stores. Then all you're going to have to do is just lightly rub over the top and sand it. Now you'll notice I did not sand the wood. I don't sand the wood until it has been sealed and painted, because no matter what you put on your wood, it's going to raise the grain just slightly. So wait until it's dry and then come back and sand. Then you're ready to put your pattern on. Now to save time here, I'm not going to base coat the entire surface, but the inside here has been base coated. I'm going to take a sanding block or a sanding oval and smooth that surface. And you would take a little more time. I just want to walk you through the steps. Then this is called a tack cloth. And what this is going to do is when you sand, you get little particles. So I'm just going to lightly wipe this over, and you can see all those particles that picked up on this tack cloth. Now when you use a tack cloth, you do want to be sure that you put it back in the little plastic bag it came from. Otherwise it'll lose its tackiness, and then you have to go buy a new one. And I like to spend my money on brushes and wood and fun stuff like that rather than a tack rag. Now once my surface is dry and I have traced my pattern, and I've just used a pencil or ballpoint pen, whichever you happen to want to use, and what you're going to do is to tape your pattern down into your center of your surface, and I don't measure anything. I pretty much just eyeball everything. And then what you're going to need to do is to put a piece of graphite in. Now graphite comes in two colors. It comes in light and it comes in dark. On this particular instance, I'm going to use the light because I have a dark background. If I had a light background, then I would use dark graphite. Going to use a stylus, or if you don't have a stylus, you also can use an old ballpoint pen. What I'm going to do is just to slip this underneath, and then with a light pressure, I go over every bit of the pattern line. Once I've done that, I am ready to paint. And so I would trace the entire design, just exactly what I had transferred before, and hopefully you can see the fine lines that you see in this background area here, okay? At this point, you're ready to paint, but you got to know a little bit more about painting before you jump right onto the surface. So what I'm going to do here is to tell you about the rest of the products that you're going to need to make your decorative painting fun and easy, and then we'll go into strokes and then actually paint some surfaces for you. I'm going to start here with a product that's called Brush and Blend, and when we paint, if you're going to be blending, double loading the brush and floating color and blending, then I highly recommend that you use the Brush and Blend, and I'll tell you more about it as we begin to paint. Then, to make your painting easy, you're going to have a container that has water in it. If you will just take a drop or two of Easy Float, what this does is make the paint come out of your bristles of your brush very easily, and so it makes cleanup at the end of the day so much easier on you. Then we have another product called Deco Magic, and Deco Magic is going to clean your brushes at the end of the day. Even if you laid the brush down, you forgot to clean it out, set it to the side, the Deco Magic's going to clean your brush up, and it really is going to help to extend the life of the brush as well. Then the last things you're going to need are varnish. Now, until DecoArt came out with these two varnishes, I really wasn't terribly excited over craft varnishes. These are wonderful. I put them on furniture pieces that I paint. They're very durable. They're non-toxic. They're safe to use around children. And when you put one brush-on coat, let it dry, and put a second one on, it feels like you've wet sanded and you've waxed the finish. So these are going to make your painting so much easier for you. Now, hopefully you have the little beginning book from DecoArt.
Two of them that I ever did.
That is going to tell you a little bit in detail and in depth.
That might
Here's
work
one here.
temporarily. I don't have
And what we're going to do here in just a minute is to go through all the different brushes and how to do all the different strokes. And then we're going to play and have some fun. And then we're actually going to paint several pieces that are from the book. So give me a minute to get my stuff together here, and we're going to start painting. Probably the hardest thing is going to choose what colors you want to paint with. In the Americana, there's a wide range, so just pick out one or two colors that you like and put maybe a half teaspoon on your palette. Now, as I said before, this palette can be a wax palette. It can be a wet palette. It could be a piece of butcher paper. It could be a container that you got from the grocery store that meat came in. You just need something to hold your paint. Then you're going to have to choose what brush it is you're going to use first. And I think I'm going to start with the flat brush. And I'm going to use the Eagle Azure. And a flat brush looks exactly that. It's flat, comes to a nice skinny edge, and that skinny edge at the top is called a chisel edge. I'm going to wet my brush in water, press it to a paper towel until the shine leaves the brush. Once the shine leaves, I know that I've got exactly the right amount of paint in my brush. I'm going to pull paint from the edge of the puddle, turn the brush over, pull from the other side. You'll notice that the paint only goes up in my brush about 3/4 of the way. We're going to do what is called strokes, and what this is going to do is make your painting much easier for you. To do a comma stroke, you're going to stand the brush straight up, let it fall, and pull it across.
It's not the most ideal place to install a joss stick.
Now, you don't have to stay with just one color. You can add additional colors to your brush, and I'm going to lighten it up so that you can see it better. The brush is going to stand straight up, fall to the right, pull across, and then come up on the tip.
But this space
Press it down,
is
come up
currently
on
being
the
used
tip.
for VHS ripping,
And
as
this
you can
doesn't
see.
have to be perfection. I just want you to
Lost
get
in
the
back
feel
rooms
of
an
this.
early 2000s
Let it
animal
fall to the left,
an
pull
anime,
across,
not
and
Hannibal
come up.
Burbles. Oh no!
Fall to
You've
the
gone
left,
the wrong
come
stream.
across,
You're
and
the ferry
up.
down the street.
This is not perfection here. If you want perfection, go have it machine done. This is to teach you how to paint, to see how wide that brush will paint, and to see how skinny that brush will paint. So these are just what you call comma strokes. Straight up, fall, pull across, and come up on the skinny edge. Now, the next stroke goes in here in that curve. And each time you put less pressure, so you get a smaller stroke. So see what I'm talking about when I say painting from as big as a stroke can be, using every bit of that bristle and less pressure until it's a little teeny tiny stroke down here. Now you're going to find that one direction is very easy to do and the other direction's not so easy. But it's just like dancing. Got to use both feet. For painting, you got to go both directions as well. These are comma strokes, and now I'm going to show you how to do a C stroke.
On this box.
I'm going to pull from the edge of the puddle, both sides of my brush, paint only going up about 3/4 of the way, a little bit of white to lighten it. To do a C stroke, you're going to stand the brush straight up, let it go across, come towards yourself, and come skinny back up.
What can I do?
Skinny, press, skinny. And again, you're going to find one direction is easier to do. Don't do them all the same size. Let the sizes reduce each time. What that does for you is to teach you how to have better control on the brush. You see, again, I've painted from as pressed down as hard as you can, make it as wide as you can, and come back to skinny, skinny, skinny. Each time, less and less pressure until you paint from very big to very small. And this is what's going to make your painting easy for you. You don't have to be artistically inclined. You just have to have a little bit of time to spend to get a little practice in. Okay, now this is probably the easiest thing to do with this painting. And it's going to give you practice. You can use tracing paper. You can use newspaper. Just use anything you want to paint on. You also can practice on a piece of glass with a colored paper underneath it. Then you can just wipe it off and practice again. So that choice is yours. At this point, I'm going to show you a couple more strokes, and then we're going to go to a different brush so you can see how to use that as well. Again, I'm only filling the brush to the metal ferrule, about not quite to that metal ferrule, a little bit of white to make it a little bit lighter, and I'm going to do what they call an S stroke. How I describe this one, you're at the top of Niagara Falls, the water comes over, it falls down, it hits the lake at the bottom, and the river keeps trucking right on. It goes skinny, press, skinny. Skinny, press, skinny. If you've got a good brush and you got good paint, you can do that many strokes.
That's a good heads up for the necessary volume level. For if I want to compete. Turn my mic all the way up. Maybe I can add a compressor in XSplit, because XSplit does support this now. A compressor. So now I should be much louder. See how loud you are before the compression is applied. Maybe I want to be about output gain 6. It's probably better. She's Sandy Orbuchon, I think. Something like that. Right. So what I really need to do is sort myself out with a better strip. What have I got plugged in here? Right, that's the VCR. It's the laptop. If I unplug the VCR and the TV right now, there's probably going to be complaints. Let's do it. Oh. Right. It's VCR and monitor. Let's see if the VCR... Yeah, it's automatically started playing again. But I don't see it on my screen. Yeah, there it is. Right. Monitor's... Whoa! That is a lot of light. The anime tennis girl is added to Fortnite. I will probably have to play some Fortnite today. Right, okay, that's added some light. It's not an ideal amount of light, but it's something. It's too yellow. This is a busted old lamp that's been in storage for a while. Just sitting in a bathtub full of junk. Yeah, so Sandy Obuchon. I wonder if they'll add her to Fortnite. She knows about a good brush stroke, doesn't she? Sandy Obuchon, a decorative painting teacher for 32 years. So, I suppose I can... why was the bathroom used as storage? So... Long story short, this used to be my grandmother's house. My grandmother didn't have a great deal of mobility in her later years. She ended up sleeping downstairs in the house and, you know, not going upstairs for anything because she couldn't move upstairs anymore. It was always better that she used the shower than tried to use the bath. So the bathroom that was up here on this floor basically didn't get used as a bathroom. Once we moved in here, that bathroom ended up being used to store stuff. That's basically why there was a lamp in the bathroom. What I'm going to do is give you some insight into what's going on in the setup right now. So, what's the best way to do this? Okay, so... maybe not multiple photos. Okay, so to give you an idea of what's going on... of course it's at an angle. Okay. So to capture from the VCR, I'm using a Roxio GameCap HD Pro. This I picked up out of a charity shop for like 15 quid the other month. Into that device I am feeding a SCART HDMI upscaler. This is the same one that I used to use for the PS2 back in the day, to capture Japanese PS2 games from hardware. The input into that is one SCART. There's a SCART adapter here that comes out of the VCR, right? So one SCART from that adapter is going into the HD upscaler, and that's what the laptop is picking up. And then so that I can adjust tracking, the second SCART goes into a monitor sitting on top of the VCR. So I can adjust the VCR in real time. I don't have to worry about the delay from the laptop to... I can do things more in sort of real time. For height, the laptop is now sitting on top of a Sonic the Hedgehog jigsaw puzzle set. If you remember, that's the one I built last year on stream. So that's currently the setup as it is on this desk. It's a bit messy now. Desk was nice and clear a couple of days ago. But once I've got this setup all figured out how I like it, then it's not going to be a struggle going forwards to unplug things, have them in boxes that are immediately accessible. More emails from Smith's Toys Superstores. You buy a couple of Xbox games, like twice, and then they're like, would you like to buy Hot Wheels toys? Would you like to buy a Fujifilm Instax Mini 12 instant camera? No. So I'd like to be able to mic check one. I'm having a lot of fun. Hey, Johnny. Mic check 1, mic check 2. Am I echoing? Is, like, the sound fine? Trying to get the volume level right for if I actually wanted to have a VHS. This is an actual VHS tape being broadcast from a VCR right now. I can rewind. Play. Stop. You know, I've got tracking controls and everything. And I've got that on a separate monitor, so it's easier to deal with. So yeah, that's an actual VHS tape coming through right now. This is Beginner's Video Handbook of Brushstrokes by Sandy Aubuchon. Here she is. This is the kind of video that would be on Best of the Worst Black Spine. I picked it because there's not a single copyright credit on the box, so hopefully we're safe, content ID-wise. But yeah, no, I'm working on sorting the office out at the moment. That big block up there is foam that I've currently got a joss stick sticking out of, an incense stick. Which one am I burning right now? It's not opium, it's the other one. Ah, white sage. I'm burning a white sage incense stick. Hey, Draymond! This is a real VHS tape being output through a real VCR into a real SCART upscaler into a Roxio GameCap HD Pro into a laptop. This setup is amazing. We could do VHS watch-alongs. No, I'm sure that most of the stuff I have on VHS. Speaking of which, I have a ton of stuff on VHS. That's something I can do here right now. Is a little bit of cable management. Try not to upset anything I got set up though. Because I got some VHS tapes. And that was a little bit Dean Lerner. Oh boy. We could watch Princess Mononoke. I bet that's, you know, anything that I... How much did I spend on, here we are. It's an Oxfam receipt for Princess Mononoke. Let's see. Wednesday, 11th of September, 2019. DVD/video, 20 pence. I think that's Princess Mononoke. I think that was the 20p there. It was either 20p or it was 50p. So. Miramax Home Entertainment, Princess Mononoke. We could watch some demonetization. Gremlins. Sure, he's cute. Of course you can keep him, but heed these 3 warnings. Don't ever get him wet. Don't keep him away from bright light. And the most important thing, one thing you must never forget, no matter how much he cries, no matter how much he begs, never, never feed him after midnight. I'm curious about shit like this, whether this would be on Content ID. Robinson Crusoe, read by Daniel Defoe. Robinson Crusoe is miraculously saved from a shipwreck of his boat after a huge storm and begins a new life where he's washed up on a desert island. I have so much shite to go through. Oh, this is Tempo Video. Somebody didn't be kind. Somebody didn't rewind. Can't believe this, man. People who don't rewind out there. Shameful. Got a bunch of Jim Davidson stand-up. You know, I don't like him as a person very much. But, Ooh. What have we got here? Oh, is this... Sooty's Christmas Party and Other Stories. Running time, 55 minutes approx. No way, is that the Queen? Sooty, Sweep, and Sue have a splendid time at Christmas. They arrange a party with their friends and have lots of presents. Father Christmas makes an appearance in a most unlikely place. The cupboard. He died from erotic asphyxiation. Sooty Xmas show. See, I got a ton of shite to go through. Stuff to rip. Children's favourites. A lot of this, right, the night of the most recent stock take at work, I popped into a charity shop that usually charges far too much for everything, and I've started to dislike as a place. But, they had a bunch of VHS tapes in there. And they're like, oh, normally we don't even bother having the VHS tapes out. You know, the Chinese people buy these VHS tapes, and they rip the insides out and use them to make bird scarers. I'm like, what? They fucking what? They rip them out and use the insides to make bird scarers? Can you imagine how many quality films, VHS tapes, possibly rare things that they've had and ripped open to make a fucking bird scarer out of? That's crushing. Just the very idea. Some, like, ultra-rare film has been destroyed. Ooh. It's everybody's favourite film, Predator. Oh, wait, no, it's Predators. Tarantulas. Ooh. People who are scared of spiders, look away. Tarantula alien, menacing, mysterious. Filmed by Nick Gordon. The copyright proprietor has licensed the picture contained in this video cassette for private home use only and prohibits any other use, copying, reproduction, or performance in public in whole or in part. Okay, sorry, we can't watch this one. Yeah, they bought an MP3 player and ripped it apart to make a bird scarer. We could watch some racist crows, if you like. The New Adventures of Heckle and Jekyll. Oh, Viacom. No, can't watch this. We'll get copy-striked by Viacom. The previous owner of this tape, I just noticed, drew nipples on one of the crows. I'm hoping that I will find a tape here that's been, like, recorded over. That'd be something else. Wonder if this copy of Toy Story has been filmed over, recorded over. Like, what's the giveaway? It's something about this, like, it's a tab or something? What do I need to look out for whether or not a VHS tape has been recorded over? Because that's what I want, is to find all the tapes that have been recorded over by some kid, and they've captured, I don't know, some, like, rare SMTV airing or something over their ALF tape. Okay. You don't want racist crows? I understand. Oh shit. I have more racist crows. Why do I have so many racist crows? I'll be your dog. Buzzy the funny crow. Ha ha ha. So the little square tab that would be on the side, if that was missing. If it's got a square tab removed, it can't be recorded. Or if it's got its square tab removed, it can be recorded. Is this the British Bob Ross? Far less endearing.
Okay, I'm going to wet the brush in water, as I've done before, and once again touching it to the paper towel to remove the excess moisture. When the shine
Retail non-recordable ones won't have that tab.
for you to flow color. On the corner of the brush, I'm going to put just a little bit of my red, blend on the
So,
that presses down to the metal ferrule.
if it's got that tab,
Repeat that 3 or 4
I could, for example, record over Buzzy the Funny Crow.
What this does is to work the paint across the brush, but never more than 3/4 of the way. If you would
Fair
step
enough.
back and forth like the
I can record over Buzzy the Funny Crow. So I've got to check all these tapes to make sure somebody hasn't recorded something really bad over them.
2, 3 away from yourself. Now on the top of the corner that has the paint, you're going to put a little bit of brush and blend
This is fascinating to me, because, like, sure, I had VHS tapes as a kid,
so
but
that you can have all
the medium is just fascinating to me.
for more than 30 years.
I got 3 drawers full of VHS tapes.
There is a side that has
I could...
there is a
Shit, I'm gonna need to check all these tapes now.
the naked side.
Make sure there's nothing bad on them.
Pull all the way up to the edge of the bristles.
That would be bad, wouldn't it? If there was something cool
What this does is prevent
recorded on them.
letting the tape come all the way across the bristles. Now you can
VHS tapes are ridiculously expensive. Like, when you look online, you look on eBay and stuff like that. VHS tapes are ridiculous.
this is for shading.
Hey, my Cardcaptor Sakura movie tape sealed is worth 30 quid. Any blanks? I don't have any blanks. I was in the place where I bought my VCR from. Was in the other day. They had like a pack of 4 or 5 blank VHS tapes. They wanted 14 quid for it.
But what this does, it immediately makes
I told them straight up, if you want to sell them for online prices, just sell them online.
it easy to color float.
Don't expect people to pay online prices,
Color is
you know, in person.
now that's called floated color.
If it was a $5 for those tapes, I would have walked out with them, but not 14. That's way too much.
Water. And this time I'm going to
For what would just be an experiment for me, you know, something to mess around with.
red all
Yeah.
the way across my brush.
No, that's too much.
Only enough paint to
Do we even get a runtime on this?
then on one corner
Not on the box itself.
get a nice gob of white or whatever
Sandy!
color you might want to use. Blend the same
I'll remove the 50p sticker
as
from the
for
box there.
floated color. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
So yeah, this desk space that I've got set up for capturing VCRs,
Now you have added nothing to the paint, so when you
I'm also going to use this desk space to build model kits.
back and blend
Sort myself out with a webcam up here pointing down at the desk. Like I used to when... Okay, so when we built model kits before, right, we were building them in that corner of the room, where all my DVDs are now. Maybe I should get you a nice view of the stack of DVDs. Ignore the boxes and shit on the floor, right? Work in progress. Little bit at a time, alright? Where those DVDs are now, that Hilke unit, there was a wooden, like, drop-down unit with a drop-down drawer, and we were building the models on the drop-down drawer, which is not the best way. Not the best way to build models, but that's where we were building them, on a drop-down drawer. Got some of my models in here, pre-built models.
So I would add the red and then on
I wonder if there's anything I want to show you.
but it is always a light
While
and a dark
While I've got your undivided attention.
then you're not going to see much of a color change.
Next time I had a monster. You know, I haven't had an energy drink yet today. Well, I don't have a monster,
Very light,
so I'm going to open an Exturance.
flame. So you want to use colors that they're
So yeah, this time last week, where I am sitting, there was a huge office chair that was broken, that was just sitting. Tons of junk on top of it, tons of junk next to it. This desk was completely full of shit. The Hilke unit here was full of garbage. Tons of shite on the floor. Bags of rubbish. Rubbish bags that were just sitting there full of rubbish that just I had forgotten to throw out. You know, they're in this room and I'm barely in this room. I didn't think about it. All this mess. And over the past week, I've just obliterated this space. I am very tired after a week of hard work, but the results speak for themselves. It's far from over. There's still a ton that needs to be done in here. There is a shelf right now above the laptop and TV that is coming out of the wall. And I have tried to like screw it back into the wall with force. No. This shelf will eventually need to come off. I will put another shelf of some kind in its place. That's the plan. And then that shelf will probably have a couple of... I'll show you exactly what type of plastic boxes. A couple of these. Ignore the fact this one's got Q-tips in it. It's for cleaning game consoles and controllers and things like that. So I'm going to have a couple of these types of boxes. And then, you know, capture device, HD upscaler, SCART splitter, you know. When they're not in use, can go in a box like that on top of a shelf. And then that way, you know, basically each task will be up there in a box. So box, VHS ripping, box. Model building, box. So webcam, model building, cutting tools, all that in a box. So at that size, there's about 3 boxes. So I could have 3 tasks, basically, on a shelf. And then all I need to know is which box I'm bringing down to do which task. Yeah. I was thinking about moving the gaming PC in here. Because there is a cupboard down this side that I could fit my tower in. Maybe at some point we'll move the PC in here and turn this into the main working space, and I can separate sleeping space from working space. Maybe eventually. There's a ton of fucking shite in here, man. Like, ton of fucking shite right now. I have... Well, just have a look at this shelving unit, right? Like, what the fuck is this? Some sort of fireworks game? In Japanese for PS2? I've got a whole fucking shelf full of Japanese PS2 games. Whole fucking shelf full of US and UK PS2 games. Boxes and boxes of bits. I have parts left over from the models I've built, separated by character name on the boxes. There's all my my modeling tools. All this shite just sitting around. It needs better organization. I think that's the plan over the next week, is to organize this shit better. I need to go through my music CDs. I got boxes and boxes of music CDs. Yeah, I'm worried about the structural integrity of that shelf where it is, but it hasn't fallen down yet. So long as I make the priority of sorting this shelf out as like the first major DIY job, then I shouldn't run into any issues there. I should have it sorted in time. We're on Wi-Fi right now. Literally the opposite corner of this house is where the router is. That's pretty good. Like, no drop frames or anything. I've already done 2.5 gig of stream data. And no drops, no issues. Dude, I think you found Lost Media. Do I need to rewind this tape and fully rip it? Beginner's Video Handbook of Brushstrokes by Sandy Aubuchon, CDA. Deco Art TM, always the best. How? VHS code is DAS74. And, here's your barcode. 76621800834 Oh! It came alongside a book. That explains a lot. So maybe you got this tape with a book. And it's like, and now you need to make sure you buy my special brushes, my special paint. VHS. Hey, Gallops. This is the Beginner's Video Handbook to Brushstrokes by Sandy Aubuchon. Apparently, this is Lost Media. I picked it because there wasn't a copyright credit on the tape. I got a joystick on. This is my working space now. This is my get shit done space now. I'll go over the setup again for everybody's benefit who have joined since I last explained it. So here's the setup. I got a Roxio Game Cap HD Pro, which I bought from a charity shop recently for £15. Going into that is a SCART to HDMI upscaler. Feeding the SCART to HDMI upscaler is the SCART from the VCR, which is split. One goes into the upscaler, and the other one goes into a separate monitor that I have for viewing the tape that I'm playing in real time, so I can adjust tracking, etc. That's the current setup. I'm currently streaming in 4:3 in PAL output. So this is exactly the same video output that is coming out from the VCR. This is the VCR's actual resolution. I've got some cool tapes I want to get through at some point. I've got Cardcaptors the movie, Pokemon Mewtwo Returns, which I have never seen. Apparently, Mewtwo Returns never got a DVD re-release, so apparently the movie I've got there is actually kind of uncommon. That was a Level Up Games acquisition, Mewtwo Returns. That's a badass. I might watch that today. Might watch and rip that today. Somehow Mewtwo has returned. But my Cardcaptors is something of a rarity. I don't know why I'm about to, like, show you photos. You can't miss Level Up Games. It still exists. It's still there. Unless you mean you miss where it was. Because it's in King Street now. The King's Mile. Don't know why I want to show you photos. So, here's my Cardcaptors tape. I'm very proud of this one, right? Because, it's still cellophane wrapped. And that means it still has the collectible sticker. Now, I almost don't want to open this and rip it, because it's too precious. I do love this one. For Sakura Avalon, one thing is certain. Expect the unexpected. Card Captors, a mystic adventure. Based on the comic Card Captor Sakura by Clamp. Yeah. Why don't you just call it Card Captor Sakura then? They've since redone the entire Card Captor Sakura series with a modern dub. And it's Monica Rial. They can't all be winners. Maybe I want to move those coffees from there. They're starting to melt. So I haven't actually mentioned the cooler yet. Ice cold bottle of water, anyone? Well, not quite ice cold, but cool. Do I have anything else that needs to go in the cooler? No, not the sandwich, because I'm about to have that. But, you know, if you want your super cold Boss coffee, I've got a Russell Hobbs cooler down here. This office just goes from fucking, like, strength to strength. Cooler, with cool drinks. It's not quite the capacity of my fridge, but, it'll do. It's nice to have cool drinks available on hand. Cool bottles of water. The coffee maker. Shit, my dudes, the coffee maker. Oh, crap, the coffee maker. I'm gonna go grab the coffee maker, guys. Right, I don't know what exactly I need for setting this up, but we'll figure it out. Where's my knife? Ooh, he's got a sharp blade. Ooh, ooh. Advertisers are going to be mad, mate. You just pulled out a blade, mate. Let's have a look. Coffee maker. This I bought. A what? I squashed the receipt, didn't I? Let's find out when I bought the coffee maker. Okay. Coffee maker, deep discount, goods not stocked, £4. Staff discount during the 30% event, £1.20 off. £2.80, this coffee maker. And I bought that on the 16th of August last year. So it's been sitting around since August last year, waiting to be built. Ah, it has a filter built in. I was looking for filter papers and I couldn't find any. I was getting pretty upset. Ah, the cup's already in it. Great. I was about to say, where the fuck's the cup? The cup's already in it. It makes you 1 cup of coffee, right? Into its special cup. It's designed to take it on the go. But, you know, I've got bottles of water here, right? I'm going to have a bag of coffee by here. Nice one. Instructions, water tank, appliance, main housing, power switch button, top cover, sprayer, funnel, water tank, travel mug. Cleaning and maintenance. The appliance can brew 3 cups of coffee in every brewing cycle. Do not overfill the coffee maker. So the water goes in this bit in the top. And then it's sucked out. Here's your power switch, on, off. Should we make a cup of coffee? Should we make a cup of coffee right now? Something fell over. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what that was. It was a toolbox falling over in the storage room. Anyway, while I was away, I took that opportunity to pick up my coffee. So I picked up from Home Bargains a couple of days ago. Oh, it's one of those ones with a little hole on the top, so you can. Oh yeah, rich and full-bodied. Right, so let's have a look. Got our cup. Fairly decently sized. I take it when I'm brewing, I take the lid off the cup. Right, okay. A Keurig machine with less waste. There we go. There's our filter. Where is it supposed to sit? I can't shut if it sits that way. Sits at an angle. Right, okay. That's the steamer. So the water gets sucked in from... Okay. Fuck it, let's build a... Let's, Do you want to make a coffee? Do you want to drink some Java? Okay, bye. Windowsill will do for the time being. Rolling papers. This hasn't been used as an office by someone who smokes in a while. I keep finding lighters and rolling papers. Right, I'm going to put it on the windowsill just because it is going to have liquid in it. Oh yeah, it's a kitchen appliance, right? So, cable's not very long. I know the perfect solution! I know the perfect solution! Behold, I just wrapped this up earlier today and now I need it again. Fuck's sake. Nobody drinks coffee. That stuff is fucking disgusting. Right. Still need to figure out sufficient cabling here. You know, things have gotten mad. We've gone from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 appliances plugged in here now. Right. No. 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 Don't turn on. Not yet. No. Okay. I was like, what happens if I press the power button? That was foolish. Garlips doesn't understand coffee. That's fine. Everybody's got to have their flaws, you know. Acquire the taste? If you don't like coffee, you're never going to like coffee. But I do think, to a certain extent, one of the key factors into liking coffee is having the right coffee and having it prepared the right way. To reference a Nintendo Wii game that I know exactly where the fuck it is, because I have problems. To reference a specific Wii game, another Code Art, there's a scene in which the main character, Ashley Mizuki Robbins, says, "I don't like mushrooms." To which the game's main antagonist, and actually the bad guy, so this kind of ruins my point a little bit, he says, "That just means you haven't had them prepared the right way for you." And while he was still an asshole and the worst character in the game, I still kind of believe what he says there. You just haven't had the right coffee for you, that's all. And you might never have the right coffee for you, and that's fine. Okay, how much coffee? Don't try to repair the appliance on your own. Right, fully unwind the cable. Place the coffee maker on a flat surface. Open the top cover and fill with cold water. As indicated on the water tank. Where is... Ah, yeah, I see it. Doesn't hold a lot of water. Just gonna make 3 coffees out of that? Add the proper amount of... Oh, here we go. A level spoon. Do I have a level spoon? Hi, Sushi. Do I have a spoon? Beware of scalding. Hold on. I might have a spoon. Might need to get a special office spoon. A spoon just for the office. They don't have to be perfect. These are leaves. Take a look at leaves. Some are short, some are long, some are bent, some are straight. A little bit goes a long way. So you don't have to have lots and lots of them. They don't all have to be perfection. Look at your colored photograph. You see that on your book. And it's very easy to find every single one of these leaves. Now, once I've done that, I'm going to clean my brush in water. And once again, flopping it on a paper towel. I'm going to go now to the house. This is probably too big a spoon. I'm going to thin it with a little bit of Pro Glaze medium. It makes the colors more transparent. This might be too much coffee. Right, so put the coffee in there. Great. That's the devil's powder. You're outputting at the wrong resolution. Please. Blue screen of death. That's interesting. Blue screen of death. No explanation. I wonder what it is that set it off. Because I don't want that to be happening if I'm using XSplit to rip a VHS tape. How are we looking? Are we still in the same source? I.e. the test stream. It doesn't say I'm live streaming Alan Wake right now. The coffee machine is doing its thing. Yeah, it still says office test. Okay. And do I look right? I do look right. Okay. Ah. Coffee machine's brewing away. My, what, £2.80 coffee machine? And it smells like coffee. It actually smells like coffee. Where's my lid? There it is. Alright. Well, colour me impressed. I wasn't expecting much out of my £2.80 coffee machine. Coffee, workspace. One of the locations, I mean, there is a possibility, you know, that I could move my gaming PC in here and make this the streaming space. You know, that would separate sleeping area from working area, which would definitely benefit me from like a mental health point of view, right? Definitely, I would hugely benefit from having the spaces separated. Yo, it's a cup of steaming hot coffee. That is neat. That's impressive. That is a good coffee machine. So I could move the gaming PC here and turn this into the proper setup. I mean, it would be more comfortable than the stool I'm sitting on right now. This was expensive. And I had to build it myself. But basically all I needed was something to sit on while I do VHS ripping. If this was going to be an area that I would sit in for a long amount of time, I would definitely be moving the office chair in. And then, of course, at that point, I would have to, you know, consider bringing the gaming PC and using the space. There's definitely space for 2 monitors. There is definitely space for 2 monitors here. The caveat is that there's not enough space for 2 monitors and something else. So every time I would want to use this desk for building models or laptop and VHS ripping, there wouldn't be enough space. That's the only thing stopping me from going full speed into moving the gaming PC in here. Because then, you know, I've got to have the console I'm using set up. I've got to have somewhere for that. It's easier where it currently is. That's the only benefit to that space. Alright. Is there anything else I want to test while I'm here? Coffee machine works. VHS ripping works. Except for when it blue screens. For some reason. Oh. Our joystick's done. Let's light another one. Not necessarily. I've got a cooler down here with some cold coffees in it. I actually got a can of X-Durance on the go right now. Yeah, this light is working now. It was a bit fussy at first. Still need to sort myself out with a joystick holder.
And I think you can tell, you get the idea.
But right now, that lump of foam will do.
On here are going to be little dots of just your
Seems to work alright.
target.
It's not the best solution,
In the center here,
but the lump of foam will hold an incense stick.
pretty much all you have to do
Hey Tack, how's it going?
black detailing on here.
VHS player, check.
Then let it
HD capture device, check.
well, let's do some
Coffee machine, check.
different. We've done flowers. Let's
Slovakia, check.
in this project, you're going to use flats and round strips, so you're going to get a good variety in this. I'm going to
This office is definitely becoming something.
and some dry
It's definitely becoming a space.
I'm going to start with that same round brush.
Enough space to have a DDR mat out.
Once again, I'm going to pull my color
Yep.
from the edge of the puddle closest to me.
Enough space to play standing up
On top of
VR
it,
games.
pull
Enough space to
that dried base on.
play
What I'm going to do
VR dancing games.
did
Just
on the
about.
last project. Remember how we thinned the paint out?
At some point I'll have to go through all those DVDs and Blu-rays. I definitely do need to downscale.
And this is good practice for comma strokes. This doesn't
Just make sure
because
the wick does not reach the end. Yeah,
some can be
it will only burn the
and you see how this one didn't
the
come out
incense
so
part, and then when it hits the wood, it will stop burning.
work. You've repainted it
They
as
treat the wood with something.
it is before.
You gonna stream yourself DDRing? Potentially, yeah.
have to have
Um,
perfection entails
it would be from this laptop, so the
fun. If you have
ability
frustrate yourself,
would be, you know, like what can be done, so to speak, will be lesser because it's the gaming laptop doing it, not the PC. But yeah,
this is fern. This is not comma
but yeah, I could, yeah, absolutely, I could stream myself playing DDR.
I'm going to go back, reload the brush with
You know, imagine having a shit day at work and then coming home and putting an hour into Murmur Twins.
go in the arm
You fucked it up. You fucked it up.
exactly where I'm
You
saying
you painted a shit-looking stroke.
underneath here. This is where you want to go. And you want to
You're a liar and a fraud.
that little curve.
She's a liar and a fraud.
Each one.
She doesn't even exist.
Remember when we first practiced the strokes earlier in the day? Now you know why I had to
Done with dessert. Check. Ha!
I'm going to leave my brush dirty and fill it with the
Certified decorative artist. Certified something.
This time they're solidly painted.
Yeah, she's certified, all right.
Solidly painted.
Certified gilf.
The colors we're using are opaque, and we have not thinned them with anything. We're using these colors straight as they come from the bottle.
I've not seen it, but I think Soybomb streamed himself DDRing only for some party pooper copyright claim his video.
Still, I
Uh,
will
d-
not sing the brush. If you get
Copyright law exists for good reason. I mean, if you're using a copyrighted song, you know, copyright holder has the right to screw you over for it, you know? If I was streaming DDR, I would certainly be either not caring to make any money on it from advertising. You may notice that this stream doesn't have ads turned on.
you'll notice I always turn the piece.
And if I was looking to make money, I would be playing sim files that I know I'm allowed to play. So probably a lot of the Foon Mix and Pop Candy stuff. Not all of it's safe though. Like Rush B by Hanagoe is on Content ID, so I wouldn't be able to stream that. I'd have to look at the songs available and Content ID check them on YouTube. See if they're okay. Basically, look the song up. Look up someone's Stepmania playthrough of a song and see if it comes up with a Content ID claim on it. And if it does, then I know not to play that one. There's plenty of options to figuring out what I can and can't stream. I mean, I would love to stream the console versions, but there's even less songs I can play in those that are safe because they're almost entirely a licensed soundtrack. Even the Konami originals will be on the Content ID system.
We have the yellow all the way across. Then we put the brown on one corner, blend on the palette. Now, while this yellow is wet, we're going to press and come down the edge.
Let me read that again. I don't think Soybomb was making money from the music. No, the copyright holder has the right to do that. So they can Content ID claim a video, and then they will be,
Let that dry. While that one's
they'll be the one receiving the money. So copyright laws are unfairly waiver to claimers, so be careful because some people sample copyright-free stuff and try hitting people. I had that. I had a copyright claim for using the melody from Sakura. Sakura is a Japanese folk song that is not owned by anybody. It's public domain. And I had some wise ass try and copyright claim the melody of Sakura. I'm like, hold on. You know the tune that goes dun 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 dun. That's a piece of Japanese folk music called Sakura, and I got some asshole try and copyright me on that for using the melody. I'm like, excuse me? This is public domain, for fuck's sake.
I'm going to let the brush stand straight up, turn it in a circle, red, blue, and white. Never thought red, white, and blue to make purple, did you?
Baby Metal used it in one of their songs. Megitsune, maybe?
This is my darkest value, and I have 5 or 6 of these. Then to my dirty brush,
Brings to mind one of these public freak-out videos I watched where a group of girls were celebrating something, and this Karen lady splashed a glass of water at them. She's just jealous because a bunch of young nubile girls were in front of her, and she's like, how come I don't look like them? I'm in my 60s and nobody loves me. So she lashed out. Careful, careful, careful. Try not to upset the cables. So I was gonna use this HDMI cable. Then I realized this is like a 4K UHD one. That would be overkill from the VCR upscaler to the laptop. I was gonna go composite out from the VCR until I realized the VCR doesn't have composite. The monitor does, but not the VCR. So actually, while I'm here, I can wrap this cable up. This setup is amazing. Now the question is, what can I get done here that's constructive? And what DIY stuff needs to be done? The shelf above is definitely a DIY task that needs to get done. Sooner rather than later. I'll look into getting a proper shelf put up there. Don't need this composite cable, so... Do have some cable ties somewhere, but fuck knows where they are. So, a little bit of electrical tape will do. Gets a little bit warm in here. Sun's on this side of the house most of the day during the summer. It's pretty fearsome. The coffee machine adds to the temperature, as does having a Jossie lit. Having a light on me here for clarity. Is a little bit of extra heat as well. I need to think this through. One thing I could do before the next stream is install the NVIDIA noise removal on this laptop. Knowing my luck, it'll blue screen again if I do that. Going through the CDs. Going through the DVDs. I really do need to downscale. I have far too much stuff. It's taking up far too much space there. That is space that I could realistically use for other things. And it's full of DVDs and Blu-rays. I don't get around to watching. Oh, the lady froze. Are you still getting sound from her? Another application is using this device. Fun. Okay. So basically, that wasn't happening when it was just the one... You fucking start. It was just the one SCART source. SCART source. Yeah, it's glitching again.
While we're waiting for that to dry, we'll use the script, our liner brush, and on these little
Interesting.
again,
Interesting.
just a little bit of detail.
That didn't happen when it was just the one SCART output. Has splitting the SCART signal weakened it?
These are leaves. They're not comma strokes, okay? Let's see. We need one more shadow.
This is why I'm experimenting. And this is why I'm experimenting with a tape that doesn't seem very important.
Loaded flat again.
Right?
The brown.
Because, I mean, if it was important, I wouldn't have the webcam all over it and the microphone would be talking to you while it's on. You know, if it was an important tape that needed ripping and preserving.
Gonna take cranberry wine.
So, are you going to digitize this video? This video, no. I don't care about doing a proper rip of this video. This is just to check if I can have VHS going through on a live stream, and yes, I can, which is interesting. But no, it's not an important tape, and I'm not digitizing this. Outside of it going up to YouTube, because this is a live stream and it will get preserved. But no, I'm not actually digitizing this tape right now, in the sense that I'm just ripping it. I ripped... Also, this is an NTSC tape since she's American? No, it's a PAL tape. PAL indication on the box. I hate to break it to you. PAL tapes with Americans on them exist. Any Hollywood movie that's released in the UK will be a PAL tape. I'm just taking the piss, don't worry. Yeah, so... I'm in that kind of mood. Because I don't know what to do with this space. Now I've got this space, I don't know what to do with it. That's the annoying thing, right? I rushed through this week to go, right, that's it, I'm fucking getting this place sorted, I'm fucking dealing with it, that's it! And now I've got it, I don't know what to do with it. I don't know what to do with the space. Rushed. A multi-region VCR. That sounds like a good idea. I've got a Japanese tape. No, I don't. No, I don't. It's PAL format. But hold on, I have a Japanese tape. You like cars? I could get a car tape. Japanese and I think Korean tapes are NTSC. Well, they will be, yes. They use NTSC in those regions.
You see how they start jumping at you because now they're actually looking like they're finished.
I believe the separation back then was necessary due to voltage, due to discrepancies in the mains. From HDMI and onwards, those sorts of separations were no longer necessary, no longer an issue.
So once again, I have my sponge that's been wet in water that I squeeze the excess moisture.
Are Taiwan tapes like that kind of mains? Like Japan, America mains?
Doesn't take much. And I'm also going to put a little bit of my Poblaze medium.
If not, there's something of an outlier.
One color and the other. You see, I have it
So what's the plan today with the office then? What am I going to do to the office today?
so that as I go to my surface, I want to have a
Mukbang! 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 Oh boy. It is an incredibly delicious looking ham and chicken triple. Keep refrigerated between 1 to 5 degrees. Uh-oh. Right. Itadakimasu! I'm Guru Larry. And I welcome you to I'm a Fat Cunt. Hong Kong used to generally be PAL.
thing to do that I haven't shared with you yet, and that is on how to varnish your piece. Acrylic paint dries
Hong
well,
Kong's an interesting one,
not
isn't
like
it?
it is when it's wet, unlike oil paint. So acrylic has to have varnish on. And if this is a placemat, then I want to put a nice varnish on, and I'm going to use the
I hope nobody's following this.
DuraClear from DecoArt, and it is my choice on anything that I'm going to use because it wears like iron. I don't
Hey, Vlad.
and worry
VHS tape
it's not going to wear well.
into upscaler
I use also a large oval. I've got a Millennium,
into HDMI capture card
a very big, it's
into laptop
but let me tell
onto
you,
YouTube.
it doesn't have corners on it the way that flat brushes do. So
This is
when
the
I
office
do
space I've
my
been working on.
brushing of my varnish, I don't get overlap marks. The
I've got a
color
joystick on.
comes out beautifully. It's totally non-toxic.
I've got a coffee maker that makes hot coffee.
Leveling like you wouldn't believe. Now I have removed any
Mini
pattern
fridge.
lines. Remember I told you earlier
I mean, this is
about
the life.
pattern lines? You can use a white eraser or you can
But now I've got this space set up.
paint them.
I don't know what to do with it.
you want. Now I have one coat on here. I'd let this dry for about 5 to 10 minutes, and when it's dry to the touch, I'll put a second coat on. Now when I am done
Face to
painting
camera
for
stuff
today, I'm gonna
will
take
be
my DecoArt DecoMan,
against this bookcase.
cleanse your brushes and preserve
These
your
bookcases.
brushing. And if you should by chance, as messy as I am, I always keep
Camera
my clothes. And
on
I
that
use
unit.
my DecoMan
Hey everybody, how's it going?
and I also
Go
use
fuck
my
yourself.
DecoMan to take paint out of my clothes. And they have a
So that's going to be a nice place to film,
have to take that off first.
up against the bookcase full of games,
Squirt it all over until you get it to your house and then.
and then the laptop in the corner here,
But if the children
dealing with VHS ripping.
it's not going to hurt them at all because it is totally non.
But I don't know what else to do with the space.
Rub my brush back and forth, clean it in water,
I haven't sampled it yet.
paper towel, and my brushes are now ready to use the next time. I'm so glad that you chose decorative painting.
Let's have a look.
I've been decorative painting for over 30
'Cause
years.
it's still quite
I never
warm.
have to think the same thing twice.
Derek Alexander. I was thinking more Alpha Omega
I
Sin.
hope you enjoy, and I hope you take the time to paint everything that's in the DecoArt. Easy to paint.
It still feels like it would be quite
And I
warm.
hope I see you again.
Oh. An hour and 26, is that the tape over? Yeah, that's fine. A level dessert teaspoon is fine. Right. So, always be kind and rewind. I think that's best. So real talk, is this lost media? Do I need to rip this? Rip everything. Oh, 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 wow. Oh, 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 wow. Rip everything. Just rewinding it now. No, I was trying to rewind and play it at the same time. If I rewind without playing it, it rewinds, you know, about a minute a second. Whereas if I try to rewind it and play it, it rewinds in actual time. Which means I'd be sat here for an hour and a half waiting for it to rewind. Whereas it's done. That was Beginner's Video Handbook of Brushstrokes by Sandy Aubuchon, CDA. 90-minute video. Shit, we've been here 90 minutes. So, figuring out what I want to do with this space. That's the tricky part. I think I'll sit down in a moment and rip this. Sit down, watch this, enjoy it, nice and loud. Sit back, rip this. Hopefully it doesn't blue screen. Where did I find that tape? In a charity shop in Herne Bay. This tape from Level Up Games. This, I paid what this tape was worth. Oh, hey, the previous owner rewound it. Isn't that nice? Mewtwo Returns, the movie. 1997 to 2001 Nintendo Creatures Game Freak. Looking forward to ripping that. Herne Bay. Hernebay. It's a seaside town. A very boring one with fuck all to do. Last time I went there, I got a Dragon Ball toy, so it wasn't too bad. Yeah, there's an extra E and there's a space. But yeah. If you Googled that, you'd probably get the actual place show up. Right, so this has been an interesting experiment. I'm gonna get on to ripping Mewtwo. We'll reconvene in the evening for Alan Wake. But yeah, I'm confident that streaming from this room is possible with the current setup. You know, if the laptop doesn't blue screen. Otherwise, it's fine. Yeah. I'm going to try ripping another tape. Because let me show you how the Digimon movie clips turned out. And hopefully I can mute them and make sure I don't get content ID'd up the wazoo for them. But if I give you an example, so choose a clip from Never Stopping, Never Stopping, Never Stopping Now. Okay. So it captured in widescreen when it's a square clip. And, I mean, this is just in chunks that it captures. Like, 6 minutes of footage. 2.01 gigabytes. Per, like, 6-minute chunk. That's unusable. But I will, you know, splice it together anyway. But it will definitely come out smaller. Oh, if you've got any yoga tapes that you want to send me, you know, any workout tapes, yes, please. I think it might be funny to record myself doing various workout tapes. JonTron, it looked like he was going to do that, and then he didn't actually go ahead and do it. And that was a shame, because that would have been entertaining as fuck. Right. I'm going to go, but I'm confident this setup works. I am going to watch the Mewtwo Returns movie, and have a pleasant afternoon. And everybody else have a pleasant afternoon as well. This was a good attempt, and it worked. What's the outro page on this laptop? How long ago did I set this up? Because, I mean, the intro, I got the standard stream intro. This one. But when I came to the laptop, it was this intro. So I must have done, like, spooky streams. Which one? 2020! Fucking hell. That's what was set up. So what outro screen have we got?
I can't stop. Looks like I have found my thing. I can't stop.
Okay. but no image. Just the song. Until next time, if we